So I had three videos I was gonna do, but I decided to scrap it. I'm just gonna try to do them all together because as each day goes on, I'm noticing just some very strange and weird activity. Uh, so September 28th slash September 29th, I was in a session. I I didn't cash a particular tournament. For some reason, yes, the same player just kept taking me out of the tournament, and it was four times. Now I have a rule of not buying in more than two times, but I broke it this time because it was such a cheap tournament, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. They took me out of the tournament four times, same player. It with complete nonsense, and it was a suspicious player. So I did win. Four, well, not win, but cash four. There's two that I did not screenshot. One was a third place and one was a sixth place. So after this session, after this weird activity, I did email RiggedOnline, and I somewhat got in an argument with them. I don't even think they read my emails anymore. I just think they have like some type of program that scans it and just replies with the copy and paste email because they kept sending the same copy and paste. Well, it's worded just a little bit different, but it was basically the same email. But they just kept sending that backwards and forth like four times, and basically it was just random number generator crap and how they have to stay competitive in the market and blah 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 blah. So as they kept sending that, I told them stop sending me this copy and paste bullshit. And then I further went to say, so you guys, I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but basically this is what I said or typed. I said basically what you're telling me is you guys find it okay to rig the system and cheat so you can stay competitive in the market. It got quiet. No response after that. None whatsoever. None. So I just left it as that. And so the next day, around like September 30th, I try to log on to my account. And it's showing it's basically sort of telling me that I'm banned. It didn't say you're banned. It wouldn't let me log in. And it popped up with this weird message. And I just figured that, hey, they banned me or blocked me like America's Rigged room, America's Card room. So I was like, whatever. But then I was like, oh no, let me contact support because I still have some money on the poker client. So I tried logging on through the website and it actually let me log on. So I was like, wait, that's weird because if they ban me, they might block me from this site too. So I contact support. Support, long story short, support was looking into it. The lady had me do all kinds of things like take screenshots and uh, some delete my browser history and all this other crap. And one of the things that she tried to have me do is this. Let me go find it. So she had me do this. Now, um, she told me to see if I can deposit, but I told her, look, I don't deposit, and I haven't deposited in years. And I basically got like sort of slick at the mouth and said, I don't want you. I was sick of you guys scamming me. She didn't really focus in on that part. It's like she sort of ignored it. But she's like, no, you're not really doing a deposit. And I was like, okay. And she said, and then she asked me what deposit method am I gonna attempt to use, and I told her the only one that they allow me to. For some reason, they only allow me to do crypto. So I tried crypto. I typed in like 2424 Kobe. So I was acting like I was gonna do a deposit like she requested me to do, and I got this message, and she had me screenshot it and send it to her. So I did do it. She tried more troubleshooting stuff, and I told her, look, ma'am, I know all about troubleshooting. What you're telling me to do is not going to really help this situation. And I explained to her that I think it was had something to do with one of the employees messing up my account because I somewhat got in an argument with one, and she couldn't figure out the issue or nothing. And then I don't think she could help me. So she was basically just trying to get me off the line. So she was like, well, just reset this and do this and do that. It's going to shut us. It's going to disconnect us, but it should work. So I was like, whatever. So I got off the line with her, and then I got to another guy. Basically the same thing, but this time he was asking, he wanted me to click on a link. I was like, no, I don't do links. I don't click on links. And then he was like, what is your phone number? I was like, the same number that's on my account. And he was like, what's your number? And I was like, I don't have a phone number. And it wasn't that he was verifying my account, because they do it with a security question. So I told him I don't have one. He's like, that's fine, whatever. So long story short with that, he said he's going to submit a ticket and someone's going to contact me or whatever. Today is October 4th. No one's contacted me yet, but who cares? Because I was able to eventually get in. So after hanging up with him, like an hour later, I tried, and I got this weird server message. It's like their server was taken offline or something happened, and that's basically what happened. And then I sort of got a maintenance message, and then after the maintenance message, it was like a server issue, and it's basically was telling me something about IP address. So whatever, I closed everything out and I did it again, and I was able to magically get in. So once I get in, I start to play, and I noticed that the game feels different within probably 20 minutes of playing. Like not every hand, not every other hand was a bad beat. I didn't see as many accounts that I feel are in-house players. I didn't see as many, and the one or two that I did see, I was actually beating them in hands, and that's a shock because I'm gone months and months, and even with one particular player, years, and not being able to get them in the hand, which is quite strange. Like they always win the big hands, and if it is a little hand, they usually fold. Like if I have a big hand and I'm betting at it or whatever, like they magically just know when to fold. So I just found it like super strange. And well, you guys know, regardless, throughout the crap or with it and without it, I still find a way to win or make it to final tables and stuff. So I was just able to play my game. So basically, I took my account balance from like $17-18 at that point. And you guys just see the progression. You guys just see it here. So I get into this tournament. I win 6th place. There's another tournament that I did well on, and I won about the same amount, but actually a little bit more, a bit more, because I think it was a knockout. So I go from like maybe $17-18 to about 60 something, because I'm also playing like the little Omaha table. So I'm doing good, like unusually, like I'm doing good. So basically, yeah, this one I didn't place, but I didn't lose as much. Um yeah, well, this gets into it. So I noticed when I with this tournament and the other one I just talked about, it's like the suspicious play didn't happen and start happening until I got to the final table, like the super suspicious. And I always ended up with anywhere from 4 to 3 suspicious accounts that I have marked, that I have had marked for a very long time. I would wind up meeting them on the final table, which I thought was weird. but they would then start beating me out on every single hand. I'm talking about I'm getting jammed on, or I'm getting rejammed, or I'm getting my jams called with freaking pocket deuces and I mean, when you get to final table, you do see stuff more. You do see that a little bit more often. Um, but they were just always just like when I couldn't duplicate it. Which means when I had like pocket nines, pocket fours, pocket eights, pocket tens, when I was to jam, I would never, my hand would never hold up. But when they had like some type of ace jack, ace king, ace queen, theirs would hold up. But vice versa, mine would not hold up. So when I jam with ace king, ace anything, mine would never hold up. But their pocket deuces, pocket threes, pocket fours would hold up every single time. It never failed. So about time I got through to a bigger tournament on the final table, which I am going to show you now, I learned my lesson. Just don't call no matter what. So even I got jammed on with pocket aces and I knew it was going to be a setup. And so I just folded because I knew that no matter what, they were going to hit a set or they're going to hit a runner straight, which was what was going on. I know it sounds crazy to fold aces pre-flop. I know, but I know what I have to do to make the money, you know? So here, there's an example. This is a little bit bigger of a tournament, cash-wise. And these two just, the highlighted players are all suspicious accounts, but these two seem like buddies. I call this ace account a donkey because the hand that they were in that they beat me out of, they should have never even been in the hand at all. There was no excuse. There's no reason to be in the hand unless you knew something you wasn't supposed to know. So I said these two were buddies because when I called him a donkey, he responded in English. But then all of a sudden, these two start talking across the table, and I think it was in like Russian or something. But I originally took the screenshot just to show like how I entered the table, like dominating, just completely dominating. And then to the final table, that's when I just bullcrap. I did go up a little bit, but after that, just magic. And so I wound up taking second place instead of first place. And guess who won? A suspicious player. Yep. So, but I wound up again taking my account from $17, $18 all the way up to about three something, and then from three something I sort of balanced out or stabled out around 450. And then the top amount that I was at between the October 1st and October 2nd was 498, and that is the most profit I have had in years. Again, it was playing so strange, like, and I seen less of these suspicious players. Now there's some other things, strange things that occurred. So let's just do a screenshot of that. Oh, I hit a straight flush, which is crazy. I hit a straight flush. I had a royal flush. I even had quads 7 times, and out of the 7 times, 3 of those pots were over $100. I was playing a little bit bigger of a game at that point, and like I was just doing great. So, oh, that was one of the bigger tables I was playing. I took this screenshot for a reason, but I can't remember it at this moment. So I guess I'll just come back to. But see, yeah, I kept getting stuff like this. So after doing so well and doing great, around October 1st going into the 2nd, that's when I started noticing this. Like I started, yeah, that's why I took this screenshot. So once I started getting back to these bigger tables, and trying to play like how I used to, all of a sudden I'm starting to get kicked out during hands and not getting paid. There was a hand that was, the pot was over, I think it was around $130 something, and I potted for another $37 and some change. I had the top flush. Had the top flush, um, and all of a sudden I get booted out. Booted out. And when I log back in, the money isn't there, and I'm not on the table, and I can't find that particular table no more. And this is when it happens. It says network error. It was not a network error. I still had internet connection because I was watching a movie, and also I play on my phone for a reason. I talked about this years ago. I play because I use my data network. But if my data network fails or falls, my backup is Wi-Fi. It would automatically connect to my Wi-Fi so I can continue to play without any issues. And both of them were online because I was watching a movie on my phone, but I also had another device connected to the internet, the Wi-Fi. So I know the Wi-Fi was up and the data was up. Um, there was quite a few more strange things, but this is also what I found strange. So after me not being able to log in, but me being able to finally log in and being able to actually do so well and not get beat, so catch bad beats every hand or every other hand, and seeing less of the suspicious accounts. Um, it was like October 2nd, October 1st, October 2nd. It was 7:25 a.m. when I took the screenshot. And what I'm getting at here is, do you see that 5,438 players? There's no way that many players are going to be on, especially at 7:25 a.m. I seen the numbers after this after me not being able to log in, after then being able to finally log in, I started seeing that the numbers jumped 2 to 3,000 just magically, and it was sitting at that number. Even when the big tournaments happened this weekend, which was Sunday, when they had the $22 tournament for the I think it was for like 150,000, I think, and the 109 for 300,000. When I looked at it, those numbers were still the same. And then I looked at the numbers of the tournament. There was 2,000, I think it was like 2,000 and something players that entered the 109. And then about the same for the other tournament for $22, which I think was like 150,000, or something like that. Those numbers were almost the same as well. It just didn't add up. Because if you look back at some of my videos, you would hear me talk about how these numbers stay around, like anywhere from like 2,100 to 2,600. Even when the previous week, every week I watch the bigger tournaments every week because I take notes and I look at which players are winning. Because I just think there's something weird going on, but I just don't know. But I'm just watching. So even watching the past few weeks of the 109, there wasn't that many. There was not, even when that tournament came around, there was not a magical jump of 2,000 to 3,000 players. But after the server goes down and all this other weird stuff happens, all of a sudden there's 5,000, 6,000 players. And then these players are playing supposedly on at weird hours. And this screenshot, again, the details of the screenshot, when I look at it, is 7 7:25 a.m., which is nuts. And today I tried playing, and it seems like it just like it. It's gonna sound crazy, but it seems like someone messed up. Something happened. Um, their servers were down for momentarily, but however they implement their bots or their in-house players, uh, or how these super users may have some type of backdoor, it feels like that backdoor had closed, or not really closed, but they wasn't able to use it to their advantage for a few hours. Because I went on this magical run. Right after the so-called server issue, and then once the server issue happens again, then all of a sudden it's right back down. I'm starting to see more of the suspicious players playing, and they're beating me out of every hand today. And today is October 20. I was playing October 3rd/4th in the AM, and all of a sudden now these players are back. They're winning. I can't hit anything. Every hand is a bad beat, especially every hand I play is a bad beat, and it's towards them. And again, every big hand that I was in from October 1st going into the 2nd, all of a sudden that's when I start having these issues during big hands and getting kicked out and not getting paid. And it just happened today, and I contact support. I tell support, they're telling me, they need my hand history. They need me to log onto a PC and do all this other crap, and that's the only way that they're gonna help or can help. So I just want you guys to be careful. It's just way too many. It's too many obvious tells that there's a lot that's not right here. And I'm gonna pause it, and I'm gonna click on this screenshot and show you guys the details of what I'm talking about, because there's no way that 5,438 players are gonna be on at that time. On that day, there was no big tournaments or nothing, and even when the big tournaments were occurring, that number was not that high. And again, I just went on a magical run, and my account has not in years has hit almost $500 in profit. Well, in profit it would have been more like $470 something. But now that's cut in half, because all of a sudden just lose to suspicious players. So I'm not even at that number anymore. All right, and here's the details. So it was October 3rd, you guys see it, 7:25 a.m. and captured from, and it tells you poker.betonline.ag.